next guest is Chelsea. Her Instagram is Chelsea Puffco. I'm gonna be doing a one-on-one with her. And I think people are excited for me because they know how much I love Puffco, but my connection with Chelsea is probably one that people don't even expect. And it's that out of all my research and just following her, she is big on the word resilience. And if you're someone who suffers with chronic pain, or even someone who wants to start a small business, if you're not resilient, you're not really going to make it where you want to go. So I'm just interested. Chelsea is the VP of sales for Puffco. She has a business with a focus on Brazilian jiu-jitsu. She's an advocate in the queer community, and she just really talks about a mentality of like digging deep within in order to be successful. So I'm excited to talk with Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, how are you?
Chelsea's at a tournament right now, so I'll let y'all go.
Hi,
I'm
my lovey. How are you?
Hi. I'm not at the tournament yet. I'm gonna leave right after this, but obviously the women in the community come first.
Thank you.
Of course.
I was doing my homework and I can't wait to just have you answer specific questions because I was impressed at a lot of your articles where you talk about how you dig deep into Brazilian jiu-jitsu to like be strong. And I want to start with a quote that you said, and I actually have it on my phone. And I
Oh,
look at it when I feel a little bit defeated. And you said you won't win every round, but
mhm.
every challenge is an opportunity to adapt, grow stronger, and keep showing up.
Girl, that's literally me. I had a competition yesterday and I had four matches and I won three and I lost my last one. And I was just like why I love competing is because it's controlling the energy. Like people that are there train 6 days a week. It's not the jujitsu aspect it's the hardest part of getting on a stage, doing something. It's managing your energy, managing your mindset, managing letting go of the outcome, becoming present and flowing. And that is such a practice for me. Um, I'm a person that goes 110 miles per hour, so being able to like when the adrenaline's hitting and you have to do something, be able to tell yourself in your head like you trust yourself, you can do this. Stay calm, and then you go out there and fucking kill it.
Absolutely. So you are the VP of sales at Puffco. That
Yes.
is, I'm sure most of people that follow Chelsea Puffco are like, it stands right out. But you also you have a big advocacy in the queer community. You do the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi everybody. My name's Chelsea. I'm the VP of Sales at Puffco. I've been with Puffco for about 12 years. I helped our CEO and founder Roger launch it when I was like 19. So I think I just gave my age. God damn it. Whenever I have to put the teen against it, it's a throwback. But yeah, I oversee all of Puffco's retail channels and our retail sales team. They're all incredible people, and I'm always a proud mama. I am super gay. Shout out to my wife, Yapo Farms. Love her so much. And I am an advocate. I always tell people around me, I tell women that I work with, Concha tu madre. Yeah, Viva Chile. I tell people that is on the same mission as me, like it's bigger than us,
Mhm.
like we have to be those voices because we can't wait for people to do the things that we want to do. We can't just sit back and be upset that things aren't the way they are. So as women in the space with these larger platforms, we have a responsibility to use our voices, whether it's about normalizing cannabis, whether it's about being queer, whether it's about being a female competitor, a female athlete, and advocate for women's brackets in jiu-jitsu getting paid, female hash makers to be able to compete with the boys, female judges on the panels,
Mhm.
so it's bigger than us.
Um, I know you love hash.
I love hash so much. Shut up.
Same.
Now, actually, it's right in front of me.
I jar.
Yeah, shortcut. Love
Jar.
that. Love that.
Um, in your opinion, and I know I'm sure you've tried some of the best hash in
Right.
out there globally. What
Yeah.
makes a truly extraordinary hash?
Starts with the material, in my opinion. It starts with the grower. It starts with like the love that goes into the flower. And then it has to pair with the hash maker as one. The hash maker has to really care about the process. Shout out to Sauce Winery and Alisi.
Shout
Like
out to
at
ah,
least see, hand washes. And
yes,
a lot of people will just well they have to, just because of the pure size of things. But like to take that time and really hand wash everything. My wife just hand washed a bunch of her material up north. She's entering in all the cups and it's a different process. Like you can almost like it's like deeper, if that makes sense. Like when you smell a jar from like the rec market or the companies that are doing it, it's still incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's still really good hash. But I think the best way I can maybe compare it is like it's like a really good meal at a restaurant and then like a really good meal at home. Does that make sense?
yes, it does.
Yeah, so I
There's
feel
almost
like
a comfort at home. There's almost a peace
It's
when you're in
it's
your home.
different. It's not something that many people can recreate. And I think that's something that's really special, at least with like my wife's hash and like, like Alici's hash is like there's so much time and effort that goes into it. It's like a home cooked meal every time. I'm gonna tell Alici that she has to pay me for that
And
one.
also, I mean, at least he also does a lot of education besides being like a fire, like besides making fire hash, she's also an educator. Like I've seen her go
That's
live
my girl,
and she's an
And
educator.
that's what I mean. It's powerful. It's powerful women, and it's up to us. And shout out to you guys for like doing things like this. I remember a few years ago, like I don't want to blow up her spot, but her name's Tabitha, and she runs this like Brazilian sisterhood. And she's the one that really inspired me to start my jiu-jitsu company, to be more vocal because we didn't have any information, and she brought all of us like this really powerful group of women. Now, a lot of us knew each other, a lot of us didn't. She brought us to Brazil, and I've never been to Brazil, right? I've known her from like the shows, but I've had dinner with her, but I don't really like know this woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's like this calling, you know? And then like some of my friends were like, yeah, someone reached out to us. We got like we're going. And then we show up there and it's just the most magical like sisterhood where she kind of sat us all down and was like, hey, we have a responsibility. It's up to us to like be these women and be these voices, and I'm sorry if you don't want the responsibility, you can go, da 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 da, but like it's bigger than us. We have to fight for females and like all of that. And I was just like, oh fuck, she's right. It's bigger than us. We have to use our platforms. We have to use our resources. We have to use our network and our connections to pave the way for women that come after us.
Absolutely. Speaking a great segue because I truly believe my personal opinion is that the hash game is very, very male dominated. But obviously you being the VP of Puffco is in my opinion, and I'm sure of others, synonymous with changing the hash game, for both newcomers and the connoisseur. I mean, I've seen people that have, 30,000 pieces of glass still not leave and come to the sesh with with their Puffco.
Totally.
Yeah, oh, I do, but I don't have a $20,000 piece. Let me stop.
Girl,
I no, Chelsea.
you know why?
I,
Okay.
look. I take the Puffco and my rig, and a lot of times I do that because I will share my rig with the community and dab people up, but I won't share my Puffco. Shout out to Leanna, your sales rep. She made sure I had my personal one.
You gotta DM me after this so
I share with the community.
You got to DM me after this. I'll send you some units so that way you don't have to share with the community. When you go to sessions, you can just bring it. But here's the thing about Puffco, and then I'll answer your question. We are hash heads. Like I love a rig. Shout out
Yeah,
to Jess from the Frosties. She just gave me a new terp slurper. She gave me a rig and a little terp timer. Like that's that's my girl. Puffco is never trying to replace the rig setup. For us, we're a New York company. I know I lost my accent. I've been here for like 7 years, so don't judge me. But we were originally a Brooklyn,
Your parents, I read an article, your parents are, you
just
referred to
fucking
them as
Brooklyn Grateful Dead hippies.
Grateful Dead heads. Yeah.
But we originally made like the company was born because we couldn't walk around New York. They still have this stop and frisk or stop and search law. We couldn't walk around New York with our rigs and everything like that. So the goal of the original peak was to fit in at a party, make it seem like you're holding a bottle of beer, not make it this huge crazy setup. The goal of our I guess existence is to make a product so good you're not thinking about the device, you're only thinking about the hash that goes inside. We don't want you to be pressing all these buttons and having to, all we want you to do is just enjoy the hash.
Before I ask the question, quick side note, I go to an event last year with my
Mhm.
Puffco, and of course, an overrated heady boy behavior thing is to point out when a woman has a Puffco. 2 weeks later, I go back to the sesh, same person with a Puffco. I literally stopped and just swung it. Like you
Yeah,
see, people
that's all you have
get
to do.
hooked on it right away. That's
Yeah,
really
I mean, listen, yeah, and that's what I'm saying is it's up to us to make sure that we can get hash and cannabis normalized. And that's why we try and do the partnerships we do. That's why we try and get our products into as many countries as possible. We're available in over 35 countries, and it just kind of like strengthens that community. We believe in hash. We're betting on hash. So whatever whatever we can do to help accelerate hash culture, that's what we do. That's why we go to Cannabis. I think we're doing 20 events sponsoring, 5 cups sponsoring, because wherever there is hash, we want to make sure that the people that are competing, the people that are attending, have a way to consume it in the best way possible.
how do you feel that the Puffco devices enhance the hash experience for both newcomers and connoisseurs?
How do I feel it enhances it?
Mhm.
Makes it easy. When
Tastes good too.
it tastes fucking good. But I think for us, do you think about the rolling paper when you smoke a joint?
No.
No. Do you think about your Puffco when you smoke your hash?
Okay, in all honesty, I don't think about it, but I need to have a 3D XL.
Yeah. No, I'll get you
The
that.
only
But
thing, I
but
always have my
also,
chamber because I feel like the 3D XL
uh-huh.
gives me the most experience like a rig. I love it.
Totally. And what's really cool about me too. What's really cool about the 3D XL is in our app, you can actually turn up the vapor production.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. She's like, yes, you can. I know you can. But the cool part about Puffco is we have made some. I should have been smart enough and had them all here. I'm so sorry. I'm actually like, Duchess and I were laughing on text. I'm cutting weight right now. I've been in the sauna in like a full sweatsuit all morning, and like I was I've lost 3 pounds in the past 2 hours just going to like a hot bath and sauna. So I'm doing my best here, but.
Somebody buy me a sauna.
Yo, straight up. So I'm doing my best. I'm sorry. But we have a whole product line for every user. So like we have the pivot that has the same chamber technology in the Puffco chamber, but in a super small device.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm taking to the movie theater. That's what I'm taking to concerts. I'll make sure I put one in your care package.
Oh,
Um, and then we have a proxy, which is like a pipe. And the
I
cool
have
thing
a
about the
proxy.
proxy I know, Keisha, I'm doing my best, but it's only for a day. But the best thing about the proxy, it's the first modular vaporizer. So you can take it out and put it into other devices that the glass community's made. And then we have our classic that we just remade, the new Peak, which is how, in my opinion, like the MacBook Air. Like if you really just need it for school, you just need a computer. The new Peak is best. But if you're a super user and you're like a graphic designer, like the Puffco Peak Pro is like a MacBook Air. You know what I mean? So the Pro is for a super user. But if I met somebody on the street who is just getting into hash, I'd probably recommend them a proxy or a pivot. And then if they're like, I need more, I'd give them a new Peak. And then once they start smoking rosin, then we'd probably give them a Pro.
I normally start out with the I before the pivot, you guys just had the Puffco Plus, like just the pen. And
Yeah,
that was what I would recommend to newbies because it was just so
love
simple.
that thing.
I
It
love
was
that.
so good, and you know what? It's such a good thing, and we it was like what made us. You know what I mean? Like that came out. I always tell this funny story is even before the plus, it was just me and Roger, right? And like it was like Roger and was like, like my big brother or like my father, like I grew up under him with all of this. So it's
Mhm.
just like him and I hustling for Puffco. And I remember we met the High Times people at a concert. This was like 2015 in Brooklyn, and we gave them a bunch of pens. And we were like, oh, cool, cool, bye. 6 months later, Roger and I get into a huge fight over this pen, and I'm like, fuck you, I quit. I'm done. Like I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm fucking out. And as I'm like parallel parking into my Bensonhurst apartment, like my first apartment, he calls me, he's like, get back here, you idiot, check your email. And it was like an email from Jen Bernstein, and she's like, "Hey guys, congratulations! You won Vaporizer of the Year. We're gonna feature you on the cover and an article. You know your life's gonna change." And I was like, and then the plus came out shortly after that. So,
And it was a hit. It's a I
it.
especially as a Canna mom, like
Mm,
I have I don't want to go into my kids' school and people know I've just consumed. And so that, I spoke about that in dabbing earlier, that one of the pluses of dabbing is we're medicating, we're getting all of the benefits also on the inside, but on the outside, no one knows we've consumed. And
it's
so the
great.
Puffcos really made it easy. And by the way, shameless plug, your bubbler also, all right, I'm a fan. But you guys also have the dry topper, and people didn't realize that you can also use your devices with herb. Like, so I just
Yes.
take my little disc with me and I can interchange my bubbler and
I
I
love
drop
this for you.
milk.
You're so good. And we also have the cupsy for flour too, the little coffee cup.
They have it all.
It's because we're having fun. You know what it is? Is like we are the community. We are the culture. We're smoking the hash. We're smoking the flower. Like it's not like we're these big corporate people that are just, sending Chinese factories vape, like we're making products that we want. So it's
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I spoke about it earlier, but you often use the word resilience when talking about overcoming obstacles.
Yes.
Can you share a time when resilience played a key role in your feminine journey? It doesn't even have to be hash, like maybe just one example of how it, your
It's a
whole.
really good question. Okay, how can I relate it to my feminine journey? Honestly, I was a Puffco really took off, I would say, when we came out with the peak in 2018. In 2018, I was, I don't want to do this math live. I was like 25, 26, right? At that time, a few years later, before I'm 30, Puffco kind of grew up and we started hiring a bunch of executives. And we were like we were a baby company. So, a lot of people come in that think that they know cannabis and they know everything. And I had to be really confident and really resilient in staying the course, controlling, growing myself as a person emotionally, mentally, becoming a really good leader, like failing a lot, getting knocked to my knees, having this like, oh my God, is this like, oh my God moment, losing everything and having to just like get back up, keep my head up, and continue to do the hard work for years to get where I am now. And now, like, I sit at the same table with C-suites, with other women. Puffco's like very big in elevating women in executive positions and in women in general. At our executives meetings on Monday, I think half of it is women.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I think that being at Puffco for as long as I have and surviving as many seasons and continuing to grow professionally, emotionally to be the person I am now without giving up after all of those failures and fucking stomach punches, I think is probably what I can think of with feminine and resilience.
What's one question out of all the interviews you've done? What's one question you wish someone would ask you and they never ask?
Oh God, you're doing so good. I don't even know. And I only
Well,
have
it's because
three.
I hit my Puffco before I started.
Fuck, me too. What is one question somebody asked me?
Those dabs be getting me focused, honey.
Yo, straight up, I really don't know, and I don't want to not answer. What
It's
question?
okay. You don't have to. We have
What?
choices. In
What?
Queenie's world, everyone has choices.
Yo, straight up. I don't know, Queenie. That's a good question. We might have to save that one for our live that we do after this.
Okay, we'll save it. You'll come back. You know, I also have another quote for you.
Yeah, I know. Let's run
I
it.
have another quote. But before we end it, we have about 8 minutes left.
Yes.
I know there's some stuff in the chat coming in, but I
Oh,
do want to ask you two questions. Any
yeah.
upcoming projects you want to share? And also, where can people find you? Where could they support the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Because I know you have a website for the
Yeah.
whole business. So I want you to
Yes.
take a few minutes and, let us know
Yeah.
support you.
Cool. Well, you can always follow me at Chelsea_Puffco. Right now, Puffco is going balls to the wall for Cannabis. We are
Yes.
going to be everywhere and as whatever you can see. So if you see our team, give them a high five, give them a hug, smoke their hash because we'll have complimentary Yapo Farms hash. Shout out to my wifey at all of our events. Other than that, I do own a company called Rolodeck. I was very fortunate in 2022 to hit 15 countries in 1 year. And because of my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu um, obsession, I trained in all of those countries and I met incredible black belt women. The problem is they didn't have the funds to come compete uh, in all of these places. So I was like, I don't really know, but I feel this calling, and I created this like jujitsu company that sponsors a lot of athletes that don't have the means to compete. My primary focus is athletes in South America. I have a lot of athletes in Chile. I have a lot of athletes in Brazil, in Argentina, in Europe. I do sponsor some in the US as well, but I can't explain it. I make no money from it. My accountant told me it's more of a hobby than a business, but
Is
I
it
feel
bringing you joy?
it's bringing me joy, and I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am. If $200 can pay for somebody's training for 3 months and or a registration for them to compete and show the work that they do, I'm more than happy to help any of my athletes. So I don't know. I feel a calling for it, and that's
I
where I'm.
love that.
I'll put it in the chat if you want to follow. Oh God, I should probably plug this actually.
Yes.
We are, because of Rolodeck, every year I do a free women's self-defense seminar in Barcelona. It's going to be, I believe, I should know this. God, Julie's going to kill me. It's going to be, I believe, Thursday, the 13th. I'll plug it in. I contracted a world champion black belt from Barcelona. She's won worlds 4 times. And she's an incredible woman. And if you're going to be in Barcelona, come learn some cool self-defense moves. We do this every year.
I love that, a free self-defense class.
Yes.
All right, so here's my final quote for you.
Okay, let's do it.
You said, and I am really digging deep into this quote today more than any day. This quote is what I keep reading every time I turn my camera off, just so you know.
Oh.
And I'm gonna try not to cry because I got my gangster on today.
All right, put your gangster on. But it's okay to cry also.
I know. Okay, it says, keep being you unapologetically.
Yeah.
Keep fucking smoking hash and
Yes.
being you and do whatever you want. Kiss
Yes.
whoever you want,
Yes.
smoke whatever you want, and
Yes.
just unapologetically never stop being you.
Yeah, dog. But the caveat to that is always be open to being the best you. You know? You never stop growing. The person you are now, the person I am now, I hope I'm not the same person in 2 years. So it's,
Evolve or die.
yeah,
Evolve or die.
fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Some of the comments, I think, do we have? Yeah, we have 2 minutes. Anything? Any last minute things you want to talk? We have 2 minutes. I know you are on the run today, so I want to also respect your
No,
time.
I'm here for the time. Duchess is
Everyone said yes. I'm a powerlifting athlete and would love to try jiu-jitsu. Please share. Julie said thank you for all you do to highlight and celebrate women in the industry.